In this video we're going to set up a drawing that you've done for laser engraving onto your frame using Pixlr, which is a photo editing program on the internet, and Lightburn Laser software. Now if you've got something like this, we're going to have to break it into its different components so that it's more efficient laser cutting. I'll show you that in a minute. This is a sample of one that's been done by a student. We're going to have to crop this down and do these pieces individually as well, just so that it's more efficient. Now open up Lightburn and I'll show you why. File, import, open. Now if I do a preview of this, you can see that it's going to, when it goes from the left side to the right side, instead of just doing these ones separately, it's going backwards and forwards, and there's all this space here that it's where it's not laser engraving at all, but it's going over the top of it. It's going to take a very long time, so we need to do these different parts separately. Now the other thing is the Pixlr program only works with a JPEG, so this one here is already a JPEG. This one here is a TIFF. We need to convert that to a JPEG. So if you've got anything else apart from a JPEG, convert it to a JPEG. So Google Chrome, type in convert to JPG. This top one here, image online, is good. Choose a file. So I'm doing this one here. Open. So I started my conversion, now it's downloading. Now that's probably my downloads. So I'm going to copy that and paste it in here. Now that one is a JPEG, and that's the one I'm going to use, JPG. Now I'll go into Google Chrome again, so you need to type in Pixlr, so we're going to use the photo editor online. Double click that, open Pixlr Editor. In most cases you're going to have to install Adobe Flash Player, allow it. This is a free program and there's usually ads on this right hand side. Open an image from the computer. I'm going to do this one here first with the more detailed one, but I'm not going to do this as the sample one we're going to follow through. I'll just show you what you have to do if you've got a complicated one like that. So open. The first thing you need to do is crop it, crop the different parts. So I'm going to have this whole section, a top, a bottom, left and a right, but for the sample I'll just do the top and the left. So crop tool, yes. Now I can crop in there closer, but it's going to be easier just to grab the eraser. You can choose different ones. I'm going to choose this square one. Now zoom in, roll with the mouse wheel, go across, delete all of that, go across to the other side, erase this part. Then I'm going to go File, Save. So that was the top. Okay, and I've chosen JPEG. It's going into the right folder. Right, I'm going to go Edit, Select All, delete that. Then I'm going to go File, Open Image and get the same one again. Open. And I'll do the same process, but this time I'm just going to do that line there, the left. So crop tool. This ends up with toggles you can adjust. I'll move that up and across. click on this white section here, yes. Now I'm going to erase that, so scroll with the mouse, grab my eraser tool, File, Save. That was the left side. Okay. Save. I'll go back, so into Lightburn. So first time you go into this, you need to, well in this case we want to put it on the Emblaser 2. It probably was on Library, go to Laser, click on the arrow here, change it to the Emblaser 2. Go into Settings and make sure that the grid snap is on 0.00. Okay. So I'm just going to show you why we've broken it up into different sections. File, Import, Open. Now this is proportionally way bigger than it needs to be, or will be, but the one I'm going to go through the whole process is of the other frame with the stars, because it's going to be a little bit quicker, but I need to show you why we've done this. So first we're going to do an image trace of this so that we don't have this white section. So Tools, Trace Image. Now this is, if I zoom in a bit, it's traced around the outline and it's giving us a much cleaner output, and we're going to end up not having this white background. I'll put a link in the description of a video made by Lightburn with more detail on this part of the software. So we'll delete that. Same for this one. Tools, Trace Image. Okay. Delete. Now there's a little bit of stuff down the bottom here, so I'm going to ungroup that and delete these bits that are extra. Now if I go to my preview, you can see it's being much more efficient in what it's doing. Although there is this dead space here, and we could have these separate flowers, which you could do if you wanted. But one of the things we do have to do is to have different colours to make sure that it doesn't happen. I'll just show you why. I'll do a Control-C, Control-V, put this over this side. So this is all the same layer. So it's black. Color black, there's a color palette here for you can create different layers. I'll go to my preview and it's still going backwards and forwards. So what I need to do is change that to a different color. So it's a different layer, and now it's not going backwards and forwards over that whole section. It is going to be much more efficient in what it does. So the black is what's being laser engraved, and this pinky color is it just moving backwards and forwards across. So I'm just going to go select all. There we go, select all and delete that. We'll come back to that. Now we've got our stars one, that's the one we're going to work on. We're going to have to crop it first. So I'm going to go back into Pixlr. Delete that. File. Open image. Got my JPEG stars. Open, I'm going to crop that. So I'll just do this in its two different sections. And crop that. Click on the white. Yes. I'm going to zoom in on it. Now in here you can get the eraser tool. I might have to choose a smaller one. And you can tidy things up in here. I'm not going to do that. I think it's going to be easier in the other program, but you can, if you want, do it in here first. So I'll go File, Save. That was top left. Okay. Save. I deleted it again. Open image. Stars. Open. No crop. The bottom right. It's not quite big enough. File. Save. So on the top left, on the bottom right. So I'm going to go into Lightburn. So I'm going to go through the whole process of setting up the frame, putting the drawings in the right place, getting it in the right position, and saving it. So import, stars, bottom right, import, stars, top left, do the image trace, tools, image trace, okay, delete this one, tools, image trace, okay, delete that one. I'll change colors. I'm going to make that one black. So I've got two different layers. I'll zoom in on that and I've got all this rubbish I really need to delete. So I'm going to do, it needs to be ungrouped. So ungroup. Now I've got all these separate parts. Or so that I can delete certain bits and tidy it up. There isn't an eraser tool, but what I can do is click on it. I'll click on the whole thing. And I'm going to go to these vertex points. Now to edit the nodes all separately, so I've got those vertex points, which you can see. I have to make it a line drawing. So I'll click off it. I'm going to change both of these to cut, so it ends up a line drawing, and then we'll put them into the scan. So in this one here, it's just going to cut them out, or just follow the lines. But if you make it scan, it fills it in. You can see it's filling on all the different parts, which we'll do a fill and do the scan later. So we'll change that to a cut. Then when I go edit nodes, I can actually change things. So if I want to get rid of that piece there, I can. If there's stuff here I want to tidy up, I can. You can delete nodes, hover over it, press D. You can also adjust it on these toggles, move it, or D for delete. So I'm going to spend a bit of time tidying all this up, deleting bits I don't want. So I can edit the nodes, I can delete it that way. You can delete separate parts. So let's click on here. edit nodes. I'll leave a link in the description of another video that Lightburn have done with more detail on how to use this feature. So I'm going to tidy this up and then come back to it. So I've tidied those up, although I haven't spent ages on it. You could spend a really long time doing it. At the moment they're a cut file, so just doing the outlines. Okay, I'm going to change these to scan. Preview, looks good. Okay, so the next job is to create your digital frame. So the frame that you've made, you have to measure its dimensions of the outer frame and then of the inner frame so that we put your information in the right place. Now you have to do it to your exact measurements. So it will be approximately 250 across here, 200 across here, and then these internal measurements. The frame is 40 millimeters, so that's 170 and that's 120 approximately. If your frame is different, for instance, it might be 247 or 242, whatever it is. Whatever your measurements are is what you're going to enter into this next stage. Very, very important. So I'm going to create my digital frame. So first job, I was on black, just change the color so that we have another layer. Click on the rectangle tool. So make sure that's a cut file. If it's a scan file, it's going to fill it in. We've got to make sure that's a cut file. Create another one inside it. Now we're going to make these bigger. So click on the cursor, click on it, make sure the padlock is unlocked. This one is 250 across, or width, by 200. The inner rectangle is 170 by 120. But remember what I said before, if your frame is a different size, you do it to the exact measurements. For instance, instead of this one being 250 by 200, it might be 248 by 202. You do it to the measurements of your frame. Now what we have to do is we have to align these two. So I'm going to click on them, hold down the control key, got them both, align vertical center, and align horizontal center. See, it moved slightly. Then I'm going to group them. Now we're going to scale these to the right size. So I'm going to click on, so I'm going to group these together. Group. Group. Now we're going to scale them down. So hold down the control key, keep the same proportions. That looks good. Control key, I'll move it in and do my final adjustment. Might make it a little bit bigger. Now we're going to group these and put them in the bottom left hand corner. So I can move it around, won't be accurate enough, so I'm going to click on it, arrange, move to lower left. Okay, that's now ready for engraving, but we have to set up a whole lot of powers and speeds. So the cut file, we're going to click on output no. We're not going to cut the frame, we're only going to do the images we're going to put on. So cut file we've got to turn off, output no. Now we're going to go to the library, Go down to a wooden Year 9 wooden frame, click on that 15, and we've got cut, scan, and image. We don't have an image on here, we've just got scan. So click on item, click on the scan section, assign to layer, and those, so that changed. So it's 33.3 millimeters a second, 100% power. Click on that one, assign to layer, and that's the same. Now that's ready to save. You're going to save this to a pen drive, but first you're just going to save it to your own folder. So File, Save As, so you need to give it your name, and then you're going to have to make sure you name your frame the same as this name. Now that that's saved, that's ready to make a copy and put on the pen drive into the appropriate Year 9 folder.
Thanks for watching another video by Digital Dovetail. Like and subscribe.